back here at the Nationwide Arena as Stanford will go into the fourth set, up 2-1. A tough third set for the Card as they hit poorly and they didn't block at their best. They still have 13 through 3 sets, but Minnesota picked up 4 blocks. And right now, Lohman playing great ball for Minnesota. Molly Lohman has 7 kills, 16 errorless swings, has an assist and 6 blocks. Can Stanford send away Minnesota? It's pretty clear that they can fight with them as well as anybody else can. But Minnesota has been down 2-0 before and they know how to fight back. And the Cardinal know how to do the same. Look for Enkidu Janaku to play big now here in the fourth. She played limited minutes and was a little ineffective in the third set. She picked up 2 kills on 2 hitting errors and 9 swings, so very soft for her. And right now, as the team's back out on the court, Janaku's the one in the huddle leading this team. Minnesota's been there before. They know what this is like. This is a young Cardinal team with nothing to lose and a lot to prove. They want to prove that they can hang with the big, bad Big Ten teams at the top. Teams will switch sides in the fourth once again. With Minnesota back in front of us and Stanford on the other side of the net. Once again, Minnesota in their home white uniforms, while the Cardinal are in their road Cardinal red. Some Go Stanford chants here as Fitzmaurice will serve to start off the set. Rosado, Seliger Swenson, up the middle goes Paige Tapp to start it off. And right now Minnesota feeling it. Paige Tapp with her 5th kill of the game. Sarah Wilhite back to serve now. Near right corner. Just gets it over. Plummer. Gray, the slide. Janaku. Dug out by Wilhite. Swenson for Hart. Stopped at the net by Gray and Janaku. 1-1. The block showing up early. And that's what gave Stanford a nice victory in the second set, which they won 25-19. They were blocking throughout the whole set, not just later on. Jenna Gray back to serve the Cardinal in their true tall small. Far middle part of the court. Wilhite. Rosado has to bump set it for Hart. Big swing, Hentz able to dig. Gray will push on the outside for Plummer. Off the block, dug out. Rosado. Near side for Tapp, dug out. Gray back out for Plummer. Rosado can't dig it as her and Hart come together. Stanford up by 1 now. Back to serve, Jenna Gray. Good one down, Wilhite. Seliger Swenson, Lohman up the middle, gets the kill. Hannah Tapp set to check in now. It is packed here in the Nationwide Arena for the Final Four. Paige Tapp back to serve. McKenna struggles. Gray for Lutz. Gets the kill on the X. It's 3-2. Stanford up by 1. Throughout the first 15 or so points, we've been pretty evenly matched, with the Cardinal up at times, up by 3. And then Minnesota's gone up by 2 at points as well. Plummer back to serve. Hart. Seliger Swenson, they slide out. Tapp. And Hannah Tapp gets the kill on the outside. That was her second kill of the game. 3 hitting errors on 13 swings. Tied up at 3. As Shaw goes back to serve. Near right corner. Hence with a good dig. Gray outside to Vonyak, dug out by Shaw. Seliger Swenson for Hart off the block. Plummer able to dig. Gray will set for Lutz, who comes soaring in, dug out by Shaw. Seliger Swenson for Hart off the block. Vonyak recovers. Gray out for Lutz. Rosado digs. Hart's going to have to set it. And they're going to give the point to Stanford off of a double hit. 4-3. Hence will go back to serve. 4-3 here in the fourth. Stanford up 2-1. Hansen's a good one down here. Rosado, Seliger Swenson. They're going to slide hand tap again. Hence able to dig this time. Gray will set on the outside for Vonyak. Blocks there, and Lutz can't dig it. Vonyak has really hit into the block a lot this game and has just struggled with 5 kills, 3 hitting errors on 22 swings. It's been a long night for her. 4-4. Good serve from the Golden Gophers. Plummer, Gray, Fitzmaurice up the middle. Shaw gets a hand on it. They set. Deep on it over Wilhite. Plummer, Gray, Fitzmaurice rifles it up the middle. Card go back up 1. It's 5-4. Kelsey Humphreys will sub in the game for Moretta Lutz and go back to serve. This is sort of the game that we expected from both squads. Very evenly matched. Humphreys sends a good one down here, struggled with. Seliger Swenson, near side for Wilhite. Plummer able to dig. Gray for Fitzmaurice, blocked down by Wilhite. In there as well was Hannah Tapp. Minnesota has 2 blocks, and they're up to 10.5 in the game. They're closing the gap there, and they're closing it in the dig category as well. As Rosado will be serving from the near right corner. Plummer, Gray, out to Fitzmaurice, blocks there, dug out. Seliger Swenson for Wilhite, off the block, Stanford recovers. Gray will bump set, and Vonyak just has to hit it over. Seliger Swenson for Paige Tapp, Plummer digs. Gray for Vonyak, roll shot, hit out of bounds, point to Stanford, as it was a nice dig by Minnesota, but it falls out of bounds. 6-5 now. Back and forth, fourth set. Ajanaku yet to come back in. Plummer now leading the team in kills at 12. She's tied. Double-double for her with 11 digs. Rosado, Seliger Swenson for Wilhite, and she sends a bullet down on the outside. And we're tied back up at 6 now. Sarah Wilhite with 22 kills, 62 swings, leading all players by nearly 30. Seliger Swenson back to serve. Hence, Gray able to save it, hit back over. McKenna able to dig. Gray for Plummer, roll shot. Wilhite able to dig. Seliger Swenson outside for Paige Tapp. The block falls for the card. Fitzmaurice and Plummer combined to send Stanford back up 7-6. Adriana Fitzmaurice back to serve. Ajanaku up front now. She comes back in the game. Adriana with a good one down here. Rosado, Seliger Swenson, Wilhite off the block. Stanford recovers. McKenna bump set. Out to Plummer. Rosado can't dig it out. Stanford up 2. Stanford's fighting right now. They were up 9-6 in the third before Minnesota went on a bit of a run. Fitzmaurice serving from the far middle part of the court. Rosado, Seliger Swenson, the slide from Paige Tapp, and Humphreys unable to dig it out. It's 8-7, the card up by 1 as Alexis Hart set to check back in. She's had a little bit of a down game herself. Both teams playing pretty even so far here in the fourth. And Wilhite back to serve, near right corner, just gets it over. McKenna, Gray, out to Plummer. Swenson able to dig. Rosado brings it near side for Hart, and she mishits it. Point to Stanford off the hitting error. Card go back up by 2. It's 9-7. Gray back to serve, 9-7. Stanford in their true tall small, which has struggled a little bit this game. Gray with a good serve down here. Seliger Swenson, the slide from Page tapped, dug out by the card. McKenna has to 3-ball it over. Wilhite, Seliger Swenson, Lohman blocked down. Swenson able to save it. Back line goes Wilhite. Ajanaku on the solo block. She's fired up with the net. 10-7, the card up 3. Gray back to serve. Far right corner now. Picking on Hart. Seliger Swenson, the slide from Page tap. Ripping it down. Have yourself a set, Page tap. She's on fire right now. Page tap with 3 kills on 1 hitting error here in the 4th. 10-8, card up by 2. And back to serve, Page tap. Hence, Gray out to Plummer, hits into the net, recovered by Stanford. Gray out to Lutz, hits around the block, and Stanford gets the kill. Crazy play as they were nearly called for a 4-hit, but it was blocked from Minnesota. Plummer goes back to serve. Vonyak in the game. She's had one of her worst games of the year this season here tonight. As head coach of the Gophers, Hugh McCutcheon, up to talk to the referee. There's going to be a challenge on the play, as Minnesota thought that last play had not gone. We're going to keep it here through the timeout. Stanford has 3 blocks here in the 4th. On pace right now. They're up to 16 through 4. Well above their season average. And are truly killing it right now. Up 3. The first call from the referees that Stanford had went their way. Let's see if they can get it to go the second time as well. Still waiting on the referees who are deliberating, looking at the video replay on the sideline across from us on the team bench side. We're on the opposite side for this game, on the big press row side, sitting courtside here. It's a beautiful view of the game where the Columbus Blue Jackets, the NHL hockey team, plays. But this weekend, it's women's volleyball. The Final Four comes down to Minnesota, Nebraska, Stanford, and Texas. The winners of these 2 games face each other in the national championship. Point to Stanford, and the fan section here behind us for the card, excited by that call. It was a lot shorter trip for Minnesota fans who are out in large tonight, as it's a long journey from from California, the Bay Area, out here to Ohio. Plummer with a good serve. Rosado struggles. Seliger Swenson, they're going to slide Hannah tap. And she gets the kill off the slide. The Tap sisters getting it done right now. And Shaw back to serve for the Golden Gophers. Serving from the near right corner. Just gets it over Hentz. Gray, the slide from Ajanaku. Hits around the block, and she gets the kill on the back line as she narrowly finds it. It's 12-9. Hentz back to serve. She gave Minnesota a lot of struggles in the 3rd. Rosado. Seliger Swenson. The slide from Hannah tap. Blocked. Hentz able to save it. Gray will set on the outside for Vonyak. Roll shot finds the cord on the outside. Card up 13-9. You could tell Inky Ajanaku was frustrated how the team ended that 3rd set. Timeout taken. We'll take one here on KZSU 90.1 FM. I'm Jimmy Garcia. Thanks for listening, and we'll be right back.
I'm Nikki Sullivan, Sports Director for KZSU. On behalf of our team, I want to personally thank all of you for listening to and supporting KZSU. Broadcasting live sports is an incredible opportunity for us, and we do it for you, the Stanford community. We have to travel all across the country and set up our gear at hostile stadiums, and we work hard so you can follow the teams you love. You can show us some love by donating. Just go to kzsu.stanford.edu and click the donate link at the top of the page. And keep on listening on 90.1 FM in the Bay Area or online at kzsulive.stanford.edu. Thanks for tuning in, and go Stanford!
Back here on KZSU 90.1 FM. Stanford up 2-1. They win the first 26-24. Second set 25-19. They dropped the third 25-22. Hard fought set from both teams. Stanford really hurt themselves by having a lot of hitting errors. They finished in that set with 10 kills, only with 7 hitting errors. Pretty poor for them. Right now, Stanford in the fourth has 8 kills, 2 hitting errors, and 3 blocks. The Cardinal block has been tremendous today. They have 16. Hence back to serve off the timeout. Rosado, Seliger, Swenson for Hart. Roll shot dug out by Gray. Bump set from Hence. On the outside to Vonyak. Wilhite able to dig. Swenson, the slide from hand to tap. Dug out by Hence. Gray will push on the outside. Back for Vonyak. Roll shot dug out. Seliger, Swenson from the back line goes. Wilhite, and Fitzmaurice meets her at the net and sends her back. 14-9. Fitzmaurice picks up her 8th block to go with 8 kills. Ajanaku has 13 kills, 9 blocks. Service error on the Cardinal, 14-10. Stanford has 3 aces to 5 errors, while Minnesota has no aces and only 2 errors. And back to serve, Alyssa Goner for the Gophers. Plummer, Gray, Fitzmaurice up the middle, dug out by Shaw. Swenson's going to bring it near side for Wilhite. Around the block, she hits and gets the kill. It's 14-11. Head coach John Dunning is up. Was going to call a timeout. We'll see. He's going to wait and go back to the bench. Vonyak struggling in this game. They keep setting her. Unsure why. Plummer, Gray, near side for Lutz. Big swing overpass. Cardinal recover. Hence, Gray, Lutz, blocked down. Hence able to recover. Gray, out to Vonyak. Off the block. It goes out of bounds. Cardinal get the point. Stanford avoided a rough go about it right there, as the block from Minnesota was big. We haven't seen Molly Lohman too much. She has 8 kills on 18 swings, no hitting errors so far. 15-11, Humphreys back to serve. Far right corner, Shaw, Seliger, Swenson for Wilhite, dug out Humphreys. Gray pushes it over and she gets the dump kill. Stanford up by 5 here in the fourth. Trip to the national championship game on the line. It's been 8 years. Ajanaku wanted to go out on top. We had an interview with Kelsey Humphreys, who's back to serve right now. And she said that her only plan, as she has a service error right there, as far as what her plans were for after the season, she said, well, I hadn't thought about it too much, but all I know is I'll figure it out after their national championship victory. Trying to keep her promise true as their team is up 16-12 in 2-1, trying to punch their ticket to the championship game. Hence, Gray with another dump, and she gets another kill. Gray with 5 kills in this one. Gray 5 kills, no misses as far as errors are considered, and 44 assists, 10 digs, double-double for her. Rosado, Seliger, Swenson for Wilhite, hence unable to dig it out. I was thinking if Gray has 5 more kills, she'll record a triple-double. Pretty insane. Plummer not too far off of a really poor triple-double, which would result with 10 hitting errors, but she's got 8 in this one. Swenson back to serve. McKenna. Gray Out to Fitzmaurice near side off the antenna. Points of Minnesota. 17-14. Golden Gophers within 3. They're starting to feel a little bit of rhythm. Ajanaku on the bench. Let's see how long they keep her out. She's sitting right there, ready to side back in. Swenson serving from the near right corner. The sophomore setter. Sends it going down here. Hence. Gray. Plummer. Rosado able to save it. They 3-ball it over. McKenna. Gray. Plummer off the block. It goes out of bounds. And Stanford gets the point. 18-14. Fitzmaurice back to serve Rosado for Wilhite, and she rips it down the line near side. Wilhite will go back to serve after getting the kill. Near right corner, Plummer, Gray, out to Plummer, mishits it. 18-16 now. John Dunning's going to call a timeout as it's close to a 2-point game. We're going to take a timeout break here on KZSU 90.1 FM. I'm Jimmy Garcia, and we'll be right back. Thanks for listening.
Hi, I'm Nikki Sullivan with KZSU Sports. Like what you're hearing and want to ask for more? Have a question about KZSU Sports or a suggestion for improvement? Let us know. You can send an email to sports@kzsu.stanford.edu or contact us via our Facebook page, KZSU Sports. You can also always give us a call at 650-723-9010. So send us an email, let us know via Facebook, or give us a call at 650-723-9010. We always love hearing from you. And now let's get back to the action and go Card!
Back here at the Nationwide Arena, I'm Jimmy Garcia, KZSU 90.1 FM. As the Card are up 2-1. They drop the third. They're up right now in the fourth, 18-16. But some crucial errors down the stretch have put Minnesota back in it. They were down by 5. Now it's 2. And Wilhite single-handedly trying to bring her team back. She's got 25 kills, 11 hitting errors, 69 attempts. She does have a double-double with 11 blocks, or 11 digs, and 3 blocks. Wilhite back to serve off the timeout. McKenna, Gray, the slide. Ajanaku off the block. Wilhite recovers. Seliger Swenson. Up the middle goes Lohman, recovered. Humphreys will have to set it for Plummer on the outside. Rosado able to dig. Seliger Swenson out for Page tap. Hence able to dig. Gray, bump set for Plummer. Hitting around the block. Dug out by Swenson. Rosado for Hart. Hence able to dig clean. Gray, back out for Plummer. Blocked. Hence recovers. Gray, back for Plummer. Happens once again. The block for Minnesota comes up big. 1-point game. And right now the Minnesota team are feeling pretty good. Their fans up loud. Wilhite back to serve. 1-point game. McKenna, Gray, Ajanaku up the middle. Gets the kill. Stanford goes back up 2. And it was getting a little nerve-wracking right there. But Ajanaku able to put it away. She's up to 14 kills and 9 blocks. Hitting .345. Stanford as a team is only hitting .192, but the Golden Gophers of Minnesota only hitting .155. Gray back to serve the Cardinal in their tall, small Rosado. Seliger Swenson out to Page tap. And Plummer with a solo block. Stanford goes back up 3. The National Freshman of the Year sends back tap. 20-17. We'll keep it here for this timeout on KZSU 90.1 FM. Plummer, 14 kills, 10 hitting errors, 47 attempts, 2 assists, 1 service ace, 11 digs, and 5 blocks. Have yourself a game. Even though the Cardinals have had some poor hitting errors, they've really made the most of the game blocking, as we knew coming in that was going to be the way to win this game, as Minnesota's so good with those quick sets and those up-the-middle plays and outside to Wilhite. But Stanford able to answer the bell. They're up by 3, closing out the 4th. This is the first of a doubleheader here at the Nationwide Arena. Nebraska and Texas due to square off next following this game. That's a matchup of last year's national championship game in which the Cornhuskers swept the Longhorns. Nebraska reloaded, but really didn't need to. I shouldn't say they reloaded as far as they just got a year older. It's a junior, senior heavy team, while Texas is led by middle blocker Ebony Nwanabu, who's a total force at the net. Texas has been averaging hitting .340 the postseason, which is just incredible numbers. But Stanford right now with 18 blocks, ready to give any team in the nation a run for their money at the net. Up by 3, trying to shoot and send themselves into the national championship. Cardinal in there, tall, small. Gray back to serve. Far left corner, the freshman setter goes. Takes a couple steps, sends a good one down here, Rosado. Seliger Swenson for Hart. Rips it down on the outside. 2018. Hannah Tapp comes in the game as Page goes back to serve. This is a senior heavy team from Minnesota. They're going to lose Wilhite, the Tapp twins, next season. Going to be tough for them. Tapp serve from the near right corner. McKenna with a good dig. Gray up the middle goes Ajanaku. Stuffed at the net. 1-point game, 2019. That was a poor set from Jenna Gray as Inky was triple teamed going up right there. And while she's so good, that was a bad play, 2019. McKenna, Gray, out to Plummer off the block. Stanford gets the kill. Back up by 2. Ivana Vanyak comes in. 8 kills, 3 hitting errors, 4 digs, and 3 blocks in the game for her. Not her best hitting game, but a real team player sort of game for her. Plummer with a good serve, Rosado. Seliger Swenson on the outside for Tapp. Vanyak digs. It comes to the back to Wilhite. Roll shot dug out by Hentz. Gray out to Lutz. Big block. And the Gophers come back within 1. As Lutz ripped it down, the block came back and hit off of Murata Lutz, and it goes out of bounds, 21-20. Can Stanford push it back to 2? Shaw back to serve. Shaw near right corner. Plummer, Gray, Lutz, dug out by Wilhite. Seliger Swenson will come for Hart. Roll shot dug out by Gray. Bumps at Hentz to Vanyak. The block's there, and it falls in bounds. Tied game, 21-all. Stanford has 5 blocks in the set. Minnesota has 5. 21-21. Stanford cannot allow this to go 5. Shaw back to serve. Plummer, Gray, Ajanaku, ripping it down the line off the slide. 22-21. 15 kills for her. The 22-21, you can't exchange points. Stanford's going to have to get a block or a hitting error on them. Hence with a good serve. Rosado, Swenson for Hart. Mishits it. Card up by 2, 23-21. Head coach Hugh McCutcheon debating on calling a timeout. His assistants tell him not to. Stanford can now exchange points. Hence back to serve. Wilhite struggles. Seliger Swenson. And she gets the kill as that was Hannah Tapp. 23-22. Goner going back to serve. 23-22. Stanford up 1. She'll be serving from the near right corner. The righty gets it over. Plummer with a bad dig. Gray. Fitzmaurice. Up the middle. Overpass. Hence. Gray. Fitzmaurice. Rosado can't dig it. Saving it was Goner, but it goes out of bounds as she flies into the press table. She stands up. Okay, it's match point for the Cardinal, trying to go to the national championship game. Humphreys in the game, back to serve. Ajanaku out. Fitzmaurice, the lone big blocker up at the net. 24-22, 2 match points they're going to face. They struggle. Overpass. Fitzmaurice sends the Cardinal to the national championship game. Stanford wins it 25-22, 3-1. The Cardinal are going to the national championship. It was a good serve, overpass, and Fitzmaurice was there to block, but she was able to send it back down. She finished with 10 kills and 8 blocks. Stanford going back to the championship. An incredible season for Minnesota, but the upset from Stanford, huge. Crazy game. We're going to do a quick recap here on KZSU before going back to the station. The Cardinal team, Inky Ajanaku, is being interviewed right now by the ESPN announcers. We are unable to secure a post-game interview through the NCAA regulations. The Cardinal win it in 4 sets like they did out in Maples. They win the first 2, they lost the third, they win the fourth, and they secure their ticket in the national championship game. Stanford led by freshman of the year, Catherine Plummer. She finishes with 15 kills, 2 assists, 1 service ace, and 11 digs to go with 5 blocks. Inky Ajanaku, the redshirt senior, battling back from injury. 15 kills, 9 blocks. Have yourself a game. Not too far behind, Adriana Fitzmaurice picks up 10 kills, 4 hitting errors, but 8 blocks, and the 10th kill sent the team to the national championship as they will await the winner of Nebraska-Texas. That game will be on Saturday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 4 o'clock Pacific for all of you local fans listening on the radio today. Great season from Minnesota. They come in second in the Big Ten Conference behind the Cornhuskers. They secure the number 1 seat in the AVCA poll, and Sarah Wilhite will go out as one of the best players in program history. Her final stat line, 25 kills, 13 digs, and 3 blocks. 25 kills, that leads all players on 70 attempts. That's 30 more than the next closest on her team. It was a great game by Stanford, and they really looked dominant the entire way through. The block was there, which was huge. They finished with 18 blocks, does Stanford. And really, the final stat line, Stanford wins in just about every category. In kills, the Cardinal wins 62-55. Hitting errors, it's evened up at 29. Stanford finishes with 1 more attack at 176-175. Neither team hit very well. The Card hit 188 to Minnesota's 149. Stanford had more assists as Jenna Gray had 49. Seliger Swenson did finish with 50. Stanford finishes with 3 service aces, while the Golden Gophers didn't have any. Stanford also had 7 more digs at 80-73, and they outblock Minnesota 18-13.5. A great season, and Stanford is not done just yet. They secure their spot in the national championship. They await the winner of Nebraska, Texas. And with that being said, we're going to do some quick thank yous before going back to the station. I want to quickly thank our engineers back at the station, Daria and Nikki Sullivan, for helping put us on air today, as well as the little hiccup with the flash flood warning. We appreciate all that you guys have done. As Nebraska comes out onto the court, they're going to get a big, loud standing ovation as they're the defending national champions. We also want to thank Chief Engineer Mark Lawrence and Jack Wong, as well as Women's Volleyball Sports Information Director Regina Verlinger and Amy Brown for all that they've done, helping get us great seats here courtside for the national championship. Stanford will play on Saturday for the title. They will go for their 7th and to tie Penn State for most all time. Stanford's last national championship appearance was in 2008 when they lost to Penn State. Before that, they were in 3 straight, all losses. Their last national championship coming in 2004. They look to end the streak and get back on top. This is the youngest team left as they start 4 freshmen and really have a great chance to make history on Saturday. With that being said, I'm Jimmy Garcia. I want to thank all the listeners out there. It's been a pleasure. Tune in on Saturday for the national championship. And with that being said, we're going to send it back to the station. Have a nice night, folks. Thanks for listening.